Hi, howdy, what's happening? So I'm just gonna make a video to make this easier because I'm gonna put this on YouTube, and then anybody can go and watch it, and it'll be there forever. Um, so my name's Adam. I own Twin Cities THC, cannabis education cultivation company in the state of Minnesota. Um, I've been around since about 2017 when I started the company. My whole idea was to educate people about how to grow cannabis. I was, still kind of learning how to grow my own. Still am learning how to grow my own in different ways. But I was really interested in just trying out different methods. There was a guy called Mr. Minnesota Nice, Bobby. He got me hooked up on lasagna-style living soils, and that kind of progressed my movement a lot farther in the cannabis space. Once I figured out living soils and I tasted living soil grown cannabis, I was like, oh, okay, this is way better than the stuff that I'm buying from a guy, unfortunately, because I love my dealer. But still, so I founded the company just to help people, learn more about cannabis. There was a lot of a lot of people pushing for legalization, for full legalization, but not a lot of people pushing for like actual knowledge behind the plant, like how it grows, what it does, whatever. So that's I started Twin Cities THC with that in mind. That same year, I got hooked up with somebody that was growing a hemp farm in Taylor Falls, and started working with them. And that's kind of how my foot in the industry started taking hold. I started going there consistently, spraying into doing a 16-acre hemp farm in Wisconsin. Sprang into some greenhouses in White Bear Lake, and I think it was 10,000 square feet greenhouse in White Bear Lake. And then we've been trying to push the brand and push the business, so that way when the market actually opens up in Minnesota in 50 years, we'll be able to actually have a positive standing in the marketplace, for branding and for being recognized. Okay, so now you know a little bit about me and where I started, where I came from, just in the industry on its own. I've done some advocating, been to the Capitol and have testified in front of my state representatives. I've been very vocal online about how I feel about stuff. Whether or not that's always a good thing, I don't know. But I've made my voice heard pretty consistently within the market, and I'm going to try to stop saying so much. So we get to Growers Ball. When I was pretty young, probably like 21, I was very into online poker and watching movies that were in theaters online through a free movies website. One day I was playing a poker tournament, and I was watching the movie Yes Man. And there's a scene that came on where Jim Carrey is drunk after having gone out one night, and he says every pretty girl deserves to go to a ball. And that's been an inside joke between me and my brothers for eternity now. Every pretty girl deserves to go to a ball. So that's always been in my mind. Yes Man kind of changed my life that day that I watched that movie, because just the overall concept of the movie of like saying yes to things and taking charge of your life and taking control of it. So that movie has always rang something special in my heart, because it was the day that my life totally changed. When I was like, why do I say no to everything? Why does this happen? Why does that happen? So moving forward, last year, I think, maybe 2 years ago now, not last year, but the year prior, in like December, I was talking with a company to get drinks, and I was like, how do I market these drinks? I don't want to be just like going, I didn't want to just go and do wholesale sales. I wanted to try to do as much retail sales as possible. I was thinking about, how do I get my brand out there? We're kind of fizzling. There's a lot of brands coming up. There's a lot of people, new guys that maybe they don't know me, whatever. And I just wanted to keep the brand recognition. And in order to do that, I wanted to make sure that I did something for the community. I'm a grower. I love growing. It's my favorite thing to do. We've had certain grow competitions, but we haven't had anything that I was like, all right, like, I want to make a mark, a little ego in me to be like, I want to make a mark. I want to do something that Minnesota can take to the bank. Another time when I was younger, I went to the Wabasha Street Caves for this girl Shannon's birthday, and I thought the swing dancing in the caves and all that stuff was uber cool, okay? I feel like I'm somewhat of a classy, trashy kind of guy. I like wearing ripped jeans, but when I go out, I like to dress up. I like to wear a suit. I like to look nice, okay? And I felt like, hey, maybe I can put these few things together. I want to do something for the community. I got a drink that's coming out. I want to make my mark on the cannabis industry as an egoic thing. And, you know, like I want something that wasn't there yet. You know, you go to these events in Minnesota and it was a lot of black market events, bags of fucking weed everywhere. There was no class, okay? And I feel like we needed the class. So I started thinking in my head, I want to do a growers ball, and I want to do it at the Wabasha Street Caves. Now, something about me, I'm bad at communicating. I'm really bad at getting back to people. If you're my friend, you know this. I'm really bad at some communication, getting all the fine details. So I was like, I need somebody that's better at communicating than I am. I had a friend at the time. I'm not going to name names, but you know who it is. I had a friend at the time. Yes, we were friends. I thought she was a good person. We were working on the caregiver program. We were supposed to be working on the caregiver program, and the growers actually kind of got pushed out of that whole situation once the testing fights started happening. Some person brought up the fact that, well, what about testing for home grows that are going to patients? And it's a valid question. But at the time, we didn't have any testing facilities that were able to maintain that. So it's like, what do you do? But anyway, so once this big fight started happening, things started to separate. I was like, okay, hey, you know, I think you're really good at putting things together and emailing and communicating. I need a communications director. I need somebody that's going to be able to help me put my thoughts, my ideas on paper. So I asked a friend, do you want to help me? I said through text message that I will show many, many times, I want to make sure you get paid, okay? Many, many times. I want to make sure you get paid for your work, for your effort, for your time. You've done a lot. This person was keep trying to tell me, I don't want to get paid. I'm just doing it because I want to help. I want to do something. I want to be a part of this, yada, 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 okay? So I'm not that type of person to be like, yeah, I'm going to take free help, because I know motherfuckers. I know how people act. I've been fucked over before, and I went, no, I'm going to make sure you get paid. So this person, after me bringing up some of my ideas, what I wanted to do, I wanted to have a big ass wedding tent there, and I wanted to rent out a space. Not rent out, but I wanted to get a permit so that we could block off a street, so that way we could have more vendors and we could invite more people, and we could make it into like we are against the current laws for growing, because now, previously before legalization, 99 plants was a felony. Now it's 25 plants is a felony. I felt that was wrong. So I'm like, I want to protest this law that was just put in. I want to make sure that everybody knows that 25 plants is a felony, where previously it was 99. We're making things more criminalized for the growers, even though they're allowed to grow some plants. It's that number doesn't make sense. I was yelled at while I had somebody in the car with me, a girl that I was interested in. I'll say I was trying to date this girl. So you can tell when you got somebody in the car with you and you're like, I'm trying to smooch this girl, whatever, like, you're not sitting there going, no, yelling on the phone like a child, you know? So we have this big conversation. I'm getting yelled at, screamed at on the phone. I'm trying to hang up the phone and be like, no, I'm not having this conversation right now. You're yelling. Let's have this conversation later. I sent the text saying, I can't talk to you right now. You're yelling at me. Please stop yelling at me, and we'll have a conversation. Be business. This is business. This is business. Keep your emotions out of it. Be business with me. Talk to me. If you got a problem, talk. You don't have to yell. No need to yell in business. So apparently that was super disrespectful that I hung up the phone on her, because I was being absolutely just screamed at about posting online, looking for growers to insert into this competition, but it wasn't done the way that she wanted, so it wasn't okay. That's when the fight started. And after that, I kind of checked out, to be completely honest. I didn't know how to fire this person from this event, while at the same time, this person was hired through my dad's company, through Autoglass. We would pay her to drive cars from one location to another so that we could do these recalibrations on them. I didn't know how to separate the two, being able to fire her here and still keep her here because we needed her there. So I just kind of let it, all right, whatever. It was a bad day. Let's leave it at that. But then after that, things started amping up. Like asking for a tent. No, we want to make sure that we don't need a tent. We got to have a space through all these trucks and food trucks and stuff. And what do you need about it? It was always yelling, always an attack, calling me a bitch and calling me names for no reason because I disagreed with the things that she said on the event I'm paying for. It came out of me. I paid every penny for everything. She didn't front a dime in anything. So I'm paying for this large event. It was $7,000 to rent to rent for everything. $7,000 for the large portion of it. There were some things that cost a little bit more, like the tip that I gave and the people that worked there, or whatever, and the money that I gave for the music artists and stuff like that. Like it was $7,000. Plus another $7,000 for the drinks that I bought. Plus, the event was so poorly organized by her because I wasn't allowed to make any suggestions. I wanted security there, and I got yelled at because I wanted security there. I said, there's going to be a lot of people here with a lot of weed, a lot of hash, and a lot of money. We need to make sure that they are protected. And I was told, why don't you trust your community? It's like, I trust humans to be humans. I'm sorry. I wanted to keep my community safe by having somebody that was going to be there that could keep them safe. And if something happened, somebody greened out, somebody fainted, somebody passed out, now we got somebody that's actually like certified to take care of this shit. And not just expecting that somebody in the crowd is going to be a nurse or whatever to help anybody that something may have happened. Because as you know from Legacy event, people were greening out that first year left and right. People were passing out. Granted, it was a hot day that day, but we had no idea what June was going to be like in Minnesota. It could be 90 degrees. It could be 30 degrees. You don't fucking know. So I wanted to rent a tent. I wanted to have a security guard. I wanted to rent out or get a permit to block off a part of the street, which is legal to do. You just have to ask the state. But I was told not to talk to the state about it because we needed to keep it quiet, even though everything that was done there was completely legal. Everything. And I wanted to make sure that it was completely legal because I didn't want the caves to become an issue. I didn't want them to get charged for hosting or for holding an event. I wanted to make sure that it was class, that it was legit, because I wanted this to continue. I didn't want it to be another black market event where people just walked in and went, oh yeah, dude, just a bunch of fucking jars and bags. And then like, when you go to these black market events, none of that weed is from Minnesota. None of that stuff's from Minnesota. So like, everything we were doing was completely legal, but I still had my hands tied because we needed to make sure we didn't say the right things and do the wrong things, say this and say that. So I wasn't allowed to message anybody because now that she had the power of communications director, is what I wanted her to be. It was her show, her rodeo. It was all her event. But I'm paying for everything. It's my idea, my intellectual property, my thoughts, my everything. And then it was hijacked by a person. I reached out to many friends and tried to tell them the situations. They told me I was wrong on some things, which I went back and apologized when I was wrong on things. But I never once got an apology back from her. Never once. Not one time. For yelling, for calling me a bitch, for calling me names, for going after my family, for calling my dad nonstop because I wouldn't answer the phone because I was busy working or on the line with somebody else, or taking a poop even. So it's like, after all this abuse and this harassment and this shit being held over my head, it was finally like time. A week before the event, we weren't even talking. A week before the event, we were like, I didn't know how to fire her. I didn't know what to do. You're like, oh, we're 2 weeks away from the event. We have a bunch of people that bought tickets. I don't have access to any of the ticket money because she set up all the accounts because she wanted, you trust me, just trust me. And it's like, okay, well, you put your trust into a person thinking that they're not going to screw you over. But, she entered in a fake name to the ticket company that was taking the money for the tickets. So when it came time for me to get paid, it took 9 months for me to get paid. 9 months for me to get paid, which had so much issues with it, okay? 9 months because she entered a wrong address. She entered a wrong name. When I went to go put my banking information in, the name didn't match up. Then the second time, the address didn't match up. Then they were like, hey, this feels like fraud. What's going on? And I had to go through this whole thing, the whole rigmarole of fraud because of how many times things went wrong. So it was 9 months before I got paid from ticket sales, which that's a lot of money. $7,000 to just be like, here. For me, $7,000 is a shit ton of money. After everything, it was probably a $10,000 event. We got $7,700 in ticket sales, okay? So, now the event's over with. It's almost over with. I want to make sure this person gets paid that did all the work. So, we're working together. I asked my dad, hey, can you try to make sure that she fesses up and says, sends a bill or something. So finally, she sends us an invoice after asking her a bunch. I want to make sure you get paid. Sends us an invoice for her work as project manager. Sends us an invoice for the things that she did. The invoice was a $900 invoice. Okay, so I'm already out. I lost money. Now my biggest loss is the person that harassed me, bothered me, called me names, called me a bitch, said all this shit to me. It was $900. They got paid. I didn't get paid. I lost money. We lost money. She wants to claim that she's a partner, then she owes me half of what was lost. She didn't put any money into it. She didn't put anything into it other than a little bit of time, which she said multiple times that she just wanted to do it. She didn't want to get paid for it. She just wanted to be a part of it. And I have all of this in text message form. All of it. It's all still there. I got all the receipts. Ask me for it. I'll give it to you. I don't know how to edit a video to share it on here, but I got it all. So she gets paid through my dad's company, Specialized Auto Glass, because I didn't have the money, obviously. So she got paid via check by my old man for her work done at the Growers Ball, okay? I decided I need a freaking break, and I was in the process of writing the license, and I had no idea how the license situation was going to go. I knew there was an event license event coordinator license or whatever that you needed to get. I wanted to wait out. This was my plan. I wanted to wait out, see what the licensing stuff was going to end up being like, because I applied for a micro business license. If I needed that license to host an event, I was going to use it so that we could have actual weed. I had no idea. This was back in October, way back in October of last year. The Caves reached out and started talking in a group message and asked if, said, hey, we got some good rates. We want to make sure that we have the Growers Ball again next year. We had a lot of fun doing this. Please respond back. That day, I sent this person a text saying, you are no longer associated with the Growers Ball. You are not a part of it. Please cease all emails and communications about the Growers Ball. That's when a big fight happened, where she told me that she was partnered, where she told me that this was her event and not my event, even though it was my idea, my plan, my goal, my money, my everything, okay? She put in work. Sure, I'll give her the idea that she put in work, but it wasn't like great work. The event was so poorly organized, I lost a lot of money on drinks that night because I wasn't able to sell anything because I had to run around all night making sure everything was nipped and tucked. We had people that stole a mason jar from us, and I had to pay for that outright because somebody just took it off the table. We had people that were just stealing joints out of the competition. We only had a specific number of joints for people. So there are some people that didn't even get to taste some of the flour because I wasn't allowed to be the person that put it together. I wasn't allowed to be the one that said, hey, let's do this, hey, let's do that. I wasn't even allowed to post on Facebook without getting screamed at looking for growers when I'm the grower who knows all the growers. So that's a little bit. So now I tell her, hey, you need to cease all communications about the Growers Ball. You're no longer on it. And she starts fighting back with me saying, this was my event, we were partners, show me proof where I was a paid employee. So here I have an invoice that was paid from her for her work that she did. I've uploaded it before. I'll upload it again if you need me to. I'll send it to you. I'll show you the whole email. It's from her company, blah, 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 consulting, for the services provided, as well as, like, she put a little quip in there about testing my stress, because she was screaming at me, and she would just say, I'm just really passionate. I just really like this. And then, yeah, just, she was a paid employee. She got paid $900 for her work. Okay? She decided how much she got paid. I told her many times, make sure you give me a number that you're comfortable with. I want to make sure that you got paid for your time, so you felt like your time was appreciated and accepted. Okay? $900. That's what she felt like her time was worth. That's what she felt like the Growers Ball was worth to her, was $900. So she starts emailing these people behind my back without me knowing, and then next thing I know, all of a sudden I see her post looking for sponsors for the Growers Ball. And I'm like, no. So then I started posting online, talking about how she's stealing this event from me. Some of her sponsors pulled out, and then she went and got another sponsor at a business where her mom works or something. But that's where we're at right now. She did work. She got paid for her work. She was the project manager when I wanted her to be the communications director, because I suck at communicating with people. And she just ends up thinking that she's a partner after that, and she's not. She's not a partner one bit. She formulated an LLC thinking that she's going to be able to take that away from me. But, like, whatever, that's fine. You can do whatever legal route you want. I trademarked it. So if I had the money, I would sue you, because I trademarked it. But, and, you know, like, I have people in my corner that'll testify that they were there the day that I talked about having a Growers Ball, because I wanted them involved too, because they play really good instruments that would have really made sense in that moment. But yeah, that's the situation. That's what's happening with the Minnesota Growers Ball, and that's why I started the original Growers Ball, because I don't feel comfortable just saying and bending over and being like, yeah, it's totally okay for this person to steal my intellectual property, for this person to steal everything that I've done, for this person to steal something that meant something to me, because I'm a grower. I wanted a competition of growers after their winter harvest, when it's nice and cured up in the nice summer. We can celebrate everybody getting their plants in the ground and everything like that, outdoors. You know, like, it was supposed to be this fun, community-led, little bit of an egoic chase, because that's the business side of things. You have to get your name out there, you have to be present, you have to put in, and I just want to be able to do things for the community. And if you know me, you know that I come around a lot. You know that I'm not just like, I haven't made it really $1 off of anything that I've sold. I sell weed for my cost. Like, I'm not out here trying to make a buck or fuck people over or ruin anybody's lives or do anything like that. I haven't fucked anybody over. This is the only drama situation that I've really been involved in, besides when we were legalizing and people were saying that I, was funding the Minnesota's normal operations with my drug money, which, like, I don't even have drug money, guy. I don't make money off of drugs. So, I don't know. I'm not gonna just sit back and let somebody just walk all over me. I'm not just gonna be okay with losing something that I felt really strongly about and something that I care about. And I'm gonna keep pushing and keep fighting it. And this person can say whatever she wants to say about how we were partners and we were this and we were that. I have, an invoice from her. She got paid. I lost money. We lost money. So she was a big part of that losing money. She was $900 of the $2,000 loss. So I don't know. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anybody say it. I don't want nothing. Like, you don't just get to be a project manager. You don't just get to be a communications director and be like, this is my event. Like, yeah, you did some work for it, but you got paid for it. Just because you make the burgers at McDonald's doesn't mean you own McDonald's. You got paid for your work. You got paid for your time. You decided how much you got paid for your time. You could have said whatever number, I would have paid you. Whatever number, I would have paid you, because I cared about you and I wanted to see you succeed and do better in life. I wanted that for you. Still do. But now that you keep doing this and you keep pushing it, you can go fuck yourself. And I hope the whole community sees just how much of a snake you are and how much of a piece of shit you are. I hope everybody sees that. And now that you're just doing the same things over to other people and to other events, like, I really hope the entire community exiles you out and shows that you don't deserve to be a part and you don't deserve to sit with us, because you just want to fuck us all over. You just want to be involved in the drama and the bullshit. And we don't need that in Minnesota. Get the fuck away from us. We need to all come together and we need to help support each other and all have the same common ground of, like, we want to make some money doing what we love, making sure that patients and people get the medicine and the products that they want and that they deserve and that they're high quality. I don't care what somebody did 5 years ago unless they're a pedophile. I don't care what somebody did 10 years ago unless they're a fucking pedophile or they hurt a woman or hurt a kid. I don't care. Like, whatever they did, like, whatever. I don't need to be involved in the drama. I don't need to be involved in the, oh, John said this about Sally. Sally said this about Steve. I don't care. I don't care. I want to do good for the community. I want to make sure that micro business succeeds. And the only way for micro businesses to succeed is for all of us to come together and not fuck each other over. So, like, that's number one. For everybody to succeed, you can't fuck people over. So, like, just, that's the story. That's what happened. That's my point of view. That's my angle. That's my side. That's what happened. I have all the text messages of when I have all the text messages. I have people that were sitting next to me when she was screaming at me over the phone, over posting a goddamn thing, asking, just trying to hype up the event. Yo, who's got the best? I'm throwing a competition, is what I said, and I got screamed at for it. And it's just incomprehensible the way that some people feel like they can treat other people, that they feel like they have something over the top of them. It's absolutely bullshit, and I'm not going to stand for it. And I hope, I know I have a lot of support from other people. I know I have a lot of people that stand up behind me, but, like, we got to be vocal about it. The original Growers Ball, that's mine. If you see the original Growers Ball, that's me. And I'm going to keep going with the original Growers Ball, and I'm going to promote the shit out of it, and I'm going to go as far as I can. Unfortunately, it's not at the event at the venue space that I want it to be at, because somebody else stole that from me. But maybe next year we can have it at Wabasha Street Caves. Maybe there's another time in the fall that we can have it at Wabasha Street Caves, because I desperately want to get back in there, and I desperately want to be able to be the person that does the Growers Ball, the original Growers Ball, at the Wabasha Street Caves, because that's what I wanted. Maybe I'll switch it to the Fauché, or maybe I'll switch it to the Uptown Mansion if that's still operating. I tried to look it up. But, like, still, I feel like St. Paul I'm from East St. Paul. I lived in East St. Paul longer than I lived anywhere else in my life. So it's like, I feel that, I got my ass beat on the streets of East St. Paul more than I got my ass beat anywhere else. So, like, I feel like St. Paul is my area. When anybody asks me where I'm from, I say East St. Paul. Even though I graduated high school in Cottage Grove, Minnesota, I got expelled out of St. Paul school districts. So, like, I feel like my parents would have stayed there for a long time had I not gotten expelled. I feel like I'm from St. Paul. I'm from St. Paul. So, like, having it in St. Paul meant something to me. It was important to me to have it there, so I want to have it there again. But I don't know. I'm just ranting now. That's the situation. I know it's drama. I know it's bullshit. I know it's weird. But a lot of people ask me what happened, what was going on, what went with this, what went with that. Like, we said, one of the last things we said to each other is, well, okay, well, I'll see you in court, because I have proof that this wasn't your event. I have you paid. You got paid. You got paid $900. You got paid $900. And to say that you were a partner when I had losses, like, I don't understand how you could be a partner, but you didn't suffer any of the losses when there was losses there. When you became a large part of the loss, you're not a partner. That's not what a partnership is. You had no skin in the game. You got paid for your work. You got paid. So I don't know. She got paid. It wasn't a partnership. I never wanted her to be a partnership. We never signed anything saying a partnership. The only thing that I ever got was an invoice for her work. And she got paid for that. So she was a subcontractor is what it should technically be. I contracted out her services, and that was it for my growers ball that I paid for, that I took care of, that I suffered losses on, that was run insufficiently the first year. But it was still a great show, still a great event, still a great time. Everybody had a wonderful time, which makes me so happy. But it's very unfortunate that now it's, now there's so much drama around an event. I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do a holla ball or something, but it's not the same. And I still want to do a holly ball to go alongside the growers ball, to do 2 a year. That was the plan. But yeah, no, there was a point where I said, fuck it, you can have it, I don't care, because she was screaming at me so much and being such a bitch. But like, no, like, just because I suffered a moment of weakness of being constantly harassed and yelled at and screamed at doesn't mean that's the truth. You got paid after the fact of that. We finished out, we went through with the event, and it's my event. It's my event. And yeah, that's how I feel. I'm sorry for the drama. I'm sorry for the bullshit. I'm sorry that you guys are gonna have to sit through and watch all this shit. Get the popcorn, because I'm not done, and I'm not just gonna give up. And I will throw her name into the dirt as much as I possibly can, because fuck that bitch. Fuck the way that you treat people. Fuck the way that you operate. Fuck the way that you think. Fuck all of it. Fuck you. But I love you guys. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening to this, even though it's just a lot of jumble. I appreciate it. I appreciate you following. I appreciate your support. I appreciate all of it. Just people saying, hey, I hope you're doing well. I appreciate all that so much. I grew up, I moved around a lot, so I never felt like I had a sense of community. So like finally, it's like I have a community, and I cherish it more than I can even describe, because it's something I never really experienced before, and I don't know how to take it all in. I don't know how to interact with it, because it's new for me. So I desperately love this community, and I love what this community has to offer. I think it's wonderful. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you.